Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Thursdays with Tracy. Of course, I am Tracy, and so I want to, of course, thank you all for being here this evening. I promise this is going to be a very short show because I only have two subjects really that I want to talk about. Um, I'm going to bring on my guest here in just a moment. But before I start, as always, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and of course, you can always support us on Patreon with that beautiful link right there. And remember that the telethon is January 8th, 2022. Tickets are $9.75. I'm going to bring on Theus, and we're going to get this thing kicking so we can just get out of your way. Hello, Theus.
Hey Tracy, how are you?
I am not doing well at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I,
I'm
I,
actually doing pretty good right now.
I mean, I feel physically fine and I'm mentally fine, but I want to just slap some people. I just want to slap some people. I'm like, no, you can't be this stupid.
Yeah, unfortunately they can.
But you can't slap them. Slapping people is wrong. Slapping people is
It's
wrong.
illegal.
It's illegal, so that makes it wrong.
No, it's just illegal.
That makes it wrong. As much as I want to. So I wanted to talk about something that Merlin, who isn't here tonight, brought up. And I know literally nothing about this. So apparently, some singer slash rapper slash poet, somebody named Travis Scott, held a concert. And then what happened? I literally know, I've heard, I mean, the internet has gone a buzz with it. I'm like, what happened? Apparently, some people bum rushed the station because I got some questions. I want to know what is y'all doing at a concert? We still in COVID. They do virtual concerts now. Erica Badu is doing them. You can just click on the link. She sits in her living room, sings, and that's cool enough.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough segment for me and you because that is not my genre
Yeah, I'm
either.
like,
I'm, I'm like
what?
Travis Scott. That sounds like some
Who?
guy who works at the
I
office.
thought,
I'm
does he
like,
date a Kardashian or?
I can't tell. I can't keep up with these people. I thought Travis Scott was either like a business person or something else. But apparently he does some kind of music that's very popular. But yeah, the reason why, remember I said I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Reason why is because I have largely given up on humanity. So I'm not surprised they were at a concert. I'm not surprised they were yelling and screaming over each other with COVID going on. I'm not surprised that there wasn't enough security to control the event. I'm not surprised that they ran around and like a bunch of little lemmings and caused a stampede and unfortunately people lost their lives. Not surprised.
That's sad, and I don't know. I know some people feel like he should be sued. I'm like, well, your name is on the moniker, so guess who bears the responsibility? Um,
Was I don't know. So if you can find that security didn't do its job, then you can sue like the organizers or whatever the promotion, whatever it is that the institution or whatever that controls that. The artists themselves, I really don't see where that person really should have any liability unless they were saying to like rush the stage. It's like the music is the same music these people listen to at home in their car and everywhere else. So that didn't change. Only thing that changed is there were physically people present who each individually chose to take certain actions.
yep, and people's lives are lost. I'm like, really? Y'all couldn't stay at home. What's wrong with staying at home, people? Not you. What's wrong with staying home, y'all? What? I don't get. Yes, I know you tired of the mask. I'm tired of them. But if you had just gotten your vaccine earlier, we probably wouldn't be dealing with this still.
Probably a good bet that the vet will know because these are young people, so you don't know. Because it could be that a lot of them were vaccinated, but it's just the simple fact that we're in the middle of an outbreak. Um, and people basically just want to do what they're going to do. People will do anything to have a good time. Period. Point blank. The end.
Apparently,
Because when they were going nuts earlier is because they couldn't go to sporting events. Remember? So people just people are not intelligent. The individual can be very intelligent, but people, yeah,
as a
people
group,
are
it's
dumb.
like, y'all, come on. Just tic tac toe. Red Rover, come on over. There's like bunches, play cards, taboo, Monopoly. Why you going out? It's a pandemic. You got to
Like,
figure somebody at that event is not immunized. Somebody is just walking up, ain't took no vaccine, didn't do anything.
yeah, they're mostly young people, probably. So a lot of them, I mean, you got a 50-50 shot whether or not they were vaccinated. But yeah, I don't know. People aren't very intelligent, and that's what unintelligent people do. They rely on their emotions. And they think that if I do what feels right
Yeah, then it
or
is right.
feels good, then the world will get out of my way. Like they don't even think about consequences. They just think about what they want. And they wanted to go to the concert. It was the popular thing. He's a popular artist. They went, it got out of hand. It only takes a second. We've seen people get killed at Walmart on Black Friday. Okay. It only takes a second. You fall down and there's 100 people coming behind you. It's a wrap.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still like, what's wrong with tic tac toe? You could have stayed home. You could have done other things. But like I
But
said,
there was a
people,
party.
you
It
know,
was a
people
party.
just want to get out. I guess so bad. They're like, okay, who? And like you, I'm like, who is this? What kind of man? Is he a rapper? Is he a singer?
I don't even know.
I even went to the poet part. I'm like, does he do poetry? Then I thought, oh, nobody's gonna pay to go see poetry.
Well,
Um,
technically, rap is poetry.
yeah, but
Country music is poetry. I don't think he's doing poetry.
yeah, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's not sitting there like the sky is yellow. Peace. No, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, which may be a longer discussion, and I said two things, but now I just thought of a third. Okay, could somebody please tell conservatives that critical race theory is taught at the collegiate level? If I hear one more Candace Owens, one more Tucker Carlson, one more idiotic, nitwitted fool talk about how critical race is destroying our country. First of all, teach real American history. Yes, white people, you own slaves. Not you, the individual white person, but your ancestors certainly owned slaves and you benefited from it. What's wrong with that? That's just history. I mean, we never tell Jewish people, hey, you know what y'all need to do? Forget the Holocaust. It never happened. It was just a little misunderstanding, and we just let this one little guy. He killed a few people. We never say that. But when it comes
Yeah.
to black people, we got to forget the whole thing and whitewash history.
Oh, so you got into my area. It's really one. I just posted a video on the Radical Truth page. If y'all out there, check it out. It's about conservatives and liberals and how our minds work. Um, and one of the things that they point out, you're not going to be able to get through to a conservative with logic. That's not what drives them. They're driven off of emotion and about reminiscing nostalgia, right? So it's all about what it feels like and what they remember things to be and not wanting to face accountability.
Right.
So if you're dealing with that mental state, logic and facts do nothing
Right, nothing. You can tell
because
them
they'll
to
just
step.
attack where your facts came from.
Yep. That's
Um,
fake.
yeah. And the thing about the slavery question, uh, it depends on how much patience you have and who your audience is as to how you engage it. Because realistically, it's a hard discussion to have when you look at the Jewish community who were the victims of the Holocaust in Europe. Well, Germany took ownership of what they did and they moved towards reparations.
They sure
All of the
did.
Western nations got together and established a homeland for them, on somebody else's land, but established a homeland for them, which is a major part of reparations, and continues to pay them reparations every year. It's a part of the budget, right? So that's that model. Well, America, the closest it's ever gotten is trying to cordon things off. So they'll call slavery the original sin. First of all, no, it wasn't. The original sin here on this continent was the genocide of Native Americans. That's the original one. Then you compounded that with slavery, and and not picking at what you're saying. I'm just picking at something that people often say. I'm trying to divorce myself of saying that they owned slaves. No, 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 no. They were human traffickers.
Yeah, they really. Yeah, that's true.
And because they dehumanized people, and some of the, as bad as it is, another dark part of it is until 1619, when they brought slaves here officially, there were black people here who were not treated as slaves. They were treated as indentured servants or just left alone. And then when America decided to institute slavery, all that changed, right? So you get that part of the conversation. And then you get into more of it because, let's just be real, if you track it back, I can track my family all the way back to slavery. That means my family has been here longer than many of the white people that we engage.
Yep.
Because they can track theirs back to Ellis Island or more recent. So what ends up happening is, if the conversation is centered on slavery, you will lose a lot of the conservatives. They will not engage because they can find an exit ramp somewhere. What we have to focus on is the systemic oppression, because it never stopped. And now we start talking about the benefits that you have access to simply because you are not us. Not because you are you, but because you're not us.
Right. And that's what makes me, when I hear the common person, oh, first of all, most people who are not political heads like us, if you just said, give me a definition of critical race theory, they're going to say, I don't know. They don't know what it means, but yet they don't like it. And I just wonder, I don't like calling people stupid. I really don't.
Stupid is a very good word.
But it how, if I was a conservative, because I'm pretty sure there are black people who consider themselves conservative.
Yeah, Tim Scott.
Yeah, somebody like him. You, sir, were pulled over by the police simply because you're black, and now you're telling me racism doesn't exist. I don't know who you, if you knew, the new lieutenant governor of Virginia is.
The Marine posing with the gun who looks like she is bad poop nuts.
Yeah, she said that
lady.
She is an embodiment that America has conquered racism.
It's already atoned for it. Yeah, that's
like,
yeah.
Okay, Mitch McConnell saying that electing President Obama meant that we've gone with the what?
That's the cost of admission. If you want to be, see, that's what a token is, right? A token is something that will serve in place of its real value, right? So if you don't want to talk to descendants of American chattel slavery, you don't want to talk to us because it gets real deep and real uncomfortable. So you go get a token. You get someone who looks like us, but will speak to you in those soothing terms that the house Negro used to have to use in order to stay in the house. See, that's all these black conservatives are. They're house Negroes who are trying to stay in the house. So you can't go in the house telling the master that how bad slavery is and how bad systemic oppression is and how bad education is and how bad living conditions. You can't do that. You have to say, as Malcolm once said, boss, is we sick, right? You have to be that intercessionary for them. And so, yeah, you as long as there are perks to being a token, they'll be there.
I guess I'm always wondering, and maybe I'm just trying to. I do not speak for all of Black America. I don't pretend to. We
Nor do
don't
I.
have that one black leader. I hate when somebody says the leader of the black community. No, we're all leaders. So let's just get that out of the way. But when I listen to these Tim Scotts and whatever that lady's name is, and the Candace Owens, I'm like, what happened to is money that great? Like something in their mind says, I'm gonna say whatever I can say to get money.
Well, it's not only the money, it's the access, right? It's an entire way of being. So the money will never be enough. But if you, even consciously or subconsciously, believe that the closest thing to a perfect or most self-actualized existence on this planet is to be white, then you will do what you can to get close to whiteness, right? You understand that you will never be white, but you can become so close that you're the next best thing. And they're all jockeying for that position. And so with that comes money, because if I need someone to go and speak on my behalf, like, okay, if we all love sports, you're a football person, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people love football. Well, the owners love football. Are they going to go out there and play the game?
No,
Or are
they're
they going to
not.
go find some other people to play the game for them?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll pay them however much money they need to pay them, so long as they're getting more on the other end, right? And that's how that relationship goes. That's why you'll have an occasional black person rise up, and they're so wedded, because you got to go into some deep delusion to hang out there. They're so wedded to it that they fool themselves, I believe, into not even seeing it anymore.
But the thing that makes me tripped up is, especially with Owens, is she literally sued her school for racial discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
She brought a lawsuit, won it, proved her case. Now she's trying to say, oh, there's no racism. So were you lying when you brought the lawsuit, or did something happen in between there to make you totally flip?
A person like her, first of all, she's trying to outrun being black. That's just number one. She's the current upgrade to Stacey Dash, right? So, and then when they're done with you, she's going to get the Stacey Dash treatment.
You mean
But
the Stacey Dash crack? No, I'm not
yeah,
gonna do that. I'm not
but
gonna
I'm
do
just
my
saying,
bad Stacey Dash.
eventually, if you play that game, you will get your Negro wake up card. Like that call's coming. But they never believe it can happen to them. They believe they are finally the right one. They are better than everyone else, because the Jay-Z said it in a lyric once: the higher and higher you go, the wider and wider it gets, right? They have been told they're special, they're different, they're this, they're that, their whole lives, to the point that now they believe it, even though they can look around in whatever room they're in and it's just them. And then you look at who they marry. And I'm not against interracial marriage at all, but I'm saying look at who they marry, and then compare that to their language and their political and their social beliefs. And that's when you start seeing someone who's not just saying what they believe, they're literally playing a role, and they're trying to escape us, right? So yeah, she sued. Okay, in her mind, I'm not saying there's no racism. I'm saying that it's not a big deal. It's not as
No,
prevalent.
she said no racism. She
Yeah, well,
is.
she's a liar for hire. But I'm just saying, pin her down on that topic. Guarantee you that's where she'll pivot. She's saying it's not, the world is not a land of absolutes. So yes, that happened. And yes, occasionally things happen, because there are occasionally bad people that you come across. But I refuse to believe that America's racist, right? That's
But you
where they
had
always go.
you know we had our favorite Jim Clyburn. He said the same thing that Tim Scott said. America's not racist.
Well,
Boy, where you living?
Jim
Especially
Clyburn.
him, because he was in the Civil Rights March. Dude, what? Don't you remember?
Well, now we get into a different game because I don't place Jim Clyburn in that same thing. Jim Clyburn is he's out. He's out. He should have got off the team. Basically, he should have left the field. I guess is the way I'll put it. Right. He had his time, and then he became a part of the monster he used to try to fight. So that can happen. You stay in it too long, you start smelling yourself, you think you are this thing, and you're an elected official. You're an elected official who treasures what you think to be a position of authority and privilege. Even though in the succession ladder, you don't even come up.
Nope, you sure don't.
But in your mind, you have risen to such a height that there are very few of any background that have held your position in your sway. So you think you're a whole new creature. So from that position, he ain't gonna say that America's racist. Like when Kamala said it, like when Biden said it. When I look at that and I say, well, what position do they hold? And what is the benefit and consequence to them saying America is racist? Right? I would never expect them to say that. Because first of all, America is not racist as a final statement. Americans, we got a lot of them. And they hold positions of power all through this nation. And that's what defines the nation. But there are good people who are not racist. And, we get into that whole...
Not the Trump. There's good people on both sides. Please don't make that argument.
But I'm saying it's a blended world, right?
Yeah.
The problem isn't that, and that's why I get so frustrated and I don't really have a lot of discussions in mixed company, because I don't have time to pat you on the head for being one of the good ones. I don't have the time. You should know by benefit of who you are that I'm not talking about you. I can't stop in every conversation when we're talking about a macro situation and come back down to your micro to say, no, but not you. No. See, you individually, I individually don't matter. What matters are systems and structures that are basically making people disappear. Whether they're living, dead, kidnapped, or whatever, they're literally disappearing. People go to work every day. They shuffle off to work or they log into their computers and go to work, but they don't exist. They don't matter. And that's who I'm concerned about. But instead, you end up getting, well, we're not all racist. And,
Yeah, and it just gets so tiring. Yep, emotional parades. Exactly. Yeah, I be thinking of some stuff I don't even be thinking of. I'm thinking on this level. Y'all that took me way up here. My brain.
My dad always did that. I remember growing up as a teenager, throwing my little pity party. Now, a little background about me: I was raised by a soldier. So my father, I remember I was just like, you know what? I get good grades. I don't get in trouble. You ain't never had to come get me from no jailhouse. I don't none of that stuff. But you treat me like I'm just so bad when I make a mistake. My dad said something to me that I've said to my children, and I hold to this day. What part of that were you not supposed to do? You don't get a reward for doing the right thing. You do get punishment for doing the wrong thing. That's life. What type of person do you want to be? And if enough people would ask themselves, what type of person do I want to be? And what does that mean to me? And what does that look like to you? We would change things.
Yep.
But instead, we defer. We say, well, why isn't the president doing this? Why isn't Schumer doing this? Why isn't the police officer, whoever, doing that? We defer because it seems to heavy for us, or we just don't know where to get started. That could also be too.
Yep, that's true. I got to move on to my next subject because this one is going to just trip me out. Because part of me says, okay, this really doesn't have anything to do with me. But why is the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case trying to make sure he gets off? Or is this just me noticing something that I shouldn't be noticing? Maybe it's just me and I'm missing something. Because I'm like, hey, judge, why are you admonishing the prosecution for trying to bring up things that he actually did? And you,
Man, that judge, first of all, he is a rabid conservative. Rabid. So you can he just reeks of it. So he, in my view, is not even looking at this being a trial about Rittenhouse. This is a trial about gun rights. This is a trial about militia's role in America. This is a trial about the police power, right? That is what he's about. So, yeah, I'm sitting here looking at this cat and I'm like, man, you sitting here yesterday, you went off on the prosecution because you said he brought up something that wasn't supposed to be brought up from pretrial. And then today, the defense does it.
Don't say nothing.
And the guy brings it up and he objects to it, breaks it down to a level even I can understand. And the judge even acknowledges, yeah, you got a point, but let's just see where it goes. The judge has ultimate power. There's nothing you can do about it. That's our legal system. If he can just get one juror to not convict, Rittenhouse goes home. And there's absolutely no appeal.
Yep, you can't
appeal a not guilty verdict. So,
or if it's a mistrial,
then the state can retry
if they want to.
Right, but
his little crying act. I'm gonna tell y'all something about me that y'all didn't know. When I was a child, and my sister was in the chat, she can vouch for this. I'm not going to call myself a child actor because I wasn't at that particular level. But I was in enough stage plays where I knew, like, I know how to cry on cue. I can almost do it at will. Them fake crocodile tears that he had, I'm like, you would fail every acting exercise that I know of.
He was struggling. And it was ugly to look at. Me, on the other hand, I'm the opposite side where I cry too easy. Like, I'm extremely sentimental. So a big mistake people have definitely made with me growing up, especially when I was a kid, was thinking that my crying was like me like having a soft moment. No, I just can't get these tear ducts to stop. But when I start stomping you into the ground, you'll realize that had nothing to do with what you saw.
He didn't even have tears. He did this, and I'm like, bruh.
He wasn't feeling anything. He was very well coached, but he's also a kid as far as mentally, so he could only rely on the coaching. And apparently his classes did not get him
his
far
classes
enough along
did,
with the tears.
I was crying on stage at like 8 or 9. It's not hard to do.
Yeah, well, two things. One, and not to hate to genderize things, but one, you're a lady. And because I have 3 daughters, and each of them at some point would try the tearing thing because it deflects energy, right? It just does. He is a white privileged man. No, he had to cry. He just did what he wants.
You know his crying reminded me of Brett Kavanaugh. Remember when Brett Kavanaugh was like
right after his rage?
Yeah, I'm like, how is he? I'm not even gonna get on how he's the Supreme Court justice.
Because the same system
I know
that protected him to let him be a Supreme Court justice and get the FBI to make sure that it happened and allowed the president to run rampant. That same system is about to let him go home.
I know, but that's who his cry remind me of. Because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm crying on stage at 8 or 9 years old, so I know what to do if I'm delivering a line. I have to cry. I know you pull a nose hair, or you do something, or you bring up a memory of something.
Oh wow, that's how you do it. Oh, okay.
That's how some actors do it. Every actor has like a different method. That's my personal method that worked for me. It's either pull a nose hair, or you just think of something that makes you really sad and want to cry. But his tears, I was like, can bad acting make a case be thrown at? Who's falling for that? Who's sitting here thinking he was so sincere? And then his mother. Because I want everybody to get this in their head. He was underage with a firearm. How in the world if he was black and he had a firearm and he was underage, he wouldn't have made it to trial.
There's remember the video I referenced about liberals and conservatives? They touched on that. So everyone needs to always keep in mind that we have the same rights, but we do not have the same privileges. So we are always treated different. And to ever expect anything different is to set yourself up for defeat. The justice system is not the friend of the black man or black woman. If you come in contact with the justice system, you need to fight your tail off, because there's absolutely nothing that's going to come to your defense. Nothing. So if you compare that a white boy his age and a black boy his age, the treatment will be completely different because the culture is viewed completely different. See, in the white culture, guns harken back to going hunting and sport shooting, and rifle was passed down from my daddy, and all those cozy lifetime original feelings. But you make the person a black boy, now it's dark all of a sudden. How did he get the gun?
Yeah.
Why does he have the gun?
Yep. You notice the NRA never defends black gun rights when something bad happens.
They don't believe we have them.
Yeah, I'm like, how is you? But I'm just like, yeah, let me think about this. If he were black, well, first of all, he would have never made it out because he's a black man with a gun.
Oh yeah, he would have been shot down in the street.
Castillo was shot, and he had a legal permit to carry his gun.
Yeah.
The police just shot him.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they're scared of us. To be black is to be armed. Like you're already armed because of your color. Add a gun to it. That's like saying you just encountered a grizzly bear with a rifle. You see what I mean? Like, they look at Rittenhouse and they would see a lamb with a pistol. Even though he's got a rifle, he's a lamb with a pistol. He's got to protect himself from the wolves. But look at that cute little lamb. Mia Rice,
12 years
old,
old,
gun, a toy pistol. Now that was a grown man with a bazooka. So you have to look at the pathology of what you're running into and set your expectations and your game plan to that.
Yeah, because I've always said, if we want true gun reform rights, just arm every black person that's of legal age with a gun, and watch how many gun laws will come on the books.
No, guarantee it. I am a firm advocate of that. I actually have said, even if you don't even want to buy a gun, see, here's what you do. If you live in a state like here, I'm in Georgia, you have concealed carry permits, right? So now a lot of us do have our concealed carry permits now, given the climate over the last 5 years. But I'm like, organize this, right? I mean, I've had my status for some years now, but organize it and just be like, you know what? On the month of January 2022, nationwide, every black person who is eligible to have a license to carry all go in on the same month and sign up for it. You don't have to go buy a gun if you don't want to.
Yeah, just sign up for the classes.
Get the classes and the certifications, do all of that in the same month. Let it look like that all the black people are getting armed. you will see a crackdown.
You sure will.
You want to tighten it up some more?
Background checks.
Go buy them. Go buy the weapons. See what I'm saying? So, because you look at how did they treat the militias, unregulated militias that they invited to the scene in Kenosha, right? Because that's why Rittenhouse was there. He was literally invited. They were wandering around like make-believe soldiers with guns while the police were in tanks and MRAPs, right? But then you look at how they treat the NFAC, the Black Gun Club, that is kind of moving in a much more, they're more towards the guerrilla family army, but it kind of touches towards the Black Panther Party. But they're moving in that lane. You had Vibe, what a Vox, what do them people do them documentaries? But you had them, you had CNN, you had MSNBC, you had the FBI getting involved, everybody trying to dig into the Black group to find out what's going on with them. They don't do that with the other side.
And if you even look at some internet memes, which take me off, they'll show the white family and the little bitty ones will have guns in their hand. Can't even legally own a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Little bitty child, maybe 5, maybe 6 years old, has a gun in their hand. You put that same family and make them all Black.
Yeah, you know, defects will be at your house the next day.
Yeah, somebody calling child services. Somebody gonna get a call while you got your child with a gun.
But here's the thing, and this is where I really want people to, and I know you and I operate on different wavelengths on this particular part of it, but we have to look at the messaging behind these things, because the larger white society is going to react the way it's always reacted. I try to be a student of history, and everything we're dealing with right now is a solid echo of everything we dealt with from 1930 to 1960. Solid echoes, right? They're trying to pull the books out. They're trying to control history. They're trying to suspend people. They're trying to exclude people. They're trying to take over school boards. They're trying to bar you access. They're trying to keep you from voting. They're killing people with no recourse. All of these things are happening now, right? And we've already seen it before. So what I would like is for more of us, of the Black community, and other communities, I hope you take from what you can from it, but pay attention to the messaging. Pay attention to the reality of the situation. The Second Amendment, for example, was not written for us. It was written about us.
Yep.
The 13th Amendment was negotiated by all white Congress and intentionally put in an exception clause so that prisons can continue to profit off of Black bodies through slavery. 14th Amendment, that's supposed to give us equal protection. No one listens to it. Also supposed to give you the accommodations. No one listens to it. So instead of always getting upset about the difference between how we're treated, acknowledge the difference in how we're treated and respond accordingly. And we're having trouble with that. Right now, our community, and a lot of us are trying to work through it, you can tell. But that's the struggle right now. People are truly waking up because it's about to become, you watch Rosewood, the only thing difference between Rosewood and now is the technology.
I've never seen that movie.
Well, it'll trigger you.
Yeah, I still
but it's a very good movie.
I still have problems watching Roots. I'm like, nope, I don't want nobody talking to me. I don't want nobody talking to me. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I've never actually watched all of Roots.
Wait a minute.
I didn't watch all of it because I am not emotionally mature for certain things.
Oh, yeah.
I do get triggered easily. So
yeah, that's a trigger one because I was just like, I don't want to talk to anybody that's not Black. I was like that the whole week. I was like, nope, just let me be.
And the thing about Roots was it was a good thing for its time. I would recommend instead go and looking at color. Oh goodness, it
Not the
just went out of
color
my head.
purple.
No, I've never even watched that. But
Wait a minute.
I'll figure out it and I'll tell you about it later. But
Wait a minute. You've never seen the color purple?
no, I took my wife to a stage play once so she could watch the stage play because she loves that
But the
kind of.
stage play and the movie are totally different.
They are, but they're both just. To me, it's race porn to me, so I can't handle it. I just can't. I don't want to watch a. First of all, I can't handle domestic abuse. So if I know going in that there will be a prominent uh, uh, portrayal of domestic abuse, I can't watch it.
Yeah, you not watching
So
What's Love Got to Do with It either.
Never seen it. Never seen the Jackson movie.
Well, that one really wasn't. You're not really missing much on that one.
Yeah, but I've never seen some of these movies that are like, and I place Roots in the same, not Roots. I place The Color Purple in the same genre of things like Beloved and For Colored Girls and Precious. Like I'm not saying they're not artistic quality, and I'm not saying there's no lessons to be learned from these things. My thing is, why would I ever ever intentionally allow me to absorb something that's bad going in and bad coming out? Like I love romantic comedies. I'll watch romantic comedies all day long because that is an escape from reality. It's that feel good thing. It started out okay. It got a little weird. It got funny. And then at the end, it was beautiful. I like that. I'm corny as all get out.
Yeah, because I'm like, even I don't do that.
Yeah, I love those kinds of things because I want to believe that there is something good left in humanity, even though I don't. I believe that humanity is a horrid creature that has gone terribly awry and has been that way from day one.
Yeah,
so
we think
it's like we're literally a cancer on the planet.
Yep. And not to interrupt you,
No,
last topic. This is the last one. I want to send a shout out to the squad. I want to shout them out because those 6 people, Ayanna Presley, Corey Bush, AOC, I can't remember, Jamal Bowman, Corey Bush, and one person I'm forgetting. They voted down that stupid, idiotic infrastructure bill. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they stood. And the rest of them fake progressives, y'all better watch out because somebody coming for y'all. Because not violently, we talking about primary.
They did that. They voted that way for exactly what you just did. Because they knew that there were enough votes to pass it. Them.
I know, but
in order to not alienate progressives like yourself, that they were free to do that. And it's like this, man. The infrastructure bill,
garbage.
It's in the vein of everything else Congress does. It's almost to the point where it actually is at the point where if Congress passes something, then something's wrong, because they only pass things that enrich certain demographics and will have no true impact and no true accountability. That's the only kind of stuff they pass. So the soft infrastructure or human, whatever they call it, the reconciliation, I would be so surprised if that passes.
It did.
Reconciliation.
It's the human infrastructure. That's the one that hasn't passed.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that was not
the bipartisan. The bipartisan isn't
one.
Reconciliation. That's
those are
literally traditional, regular order. Reconciliation is going to be the soft infrastructure, the human infrastructure, and that one relies on mansion.
Here it is. I'm glad that they stood up to what they believed in, because I'm like, nah, I'm so sick.
Thank you, Anna. Yep,
because they're still, And people forget that. People keep forgetting Flint happened under Obama. I'm like, y'all,
No, Flint didn't happen under Obama.
it didn't happen under Trump.
Flint came to public knowledge under Obama. There are Flints all
I
across
mean,
this
we know
country.
there's Flints.
So,
Yeah, I know.
no,
Okay, I
I
get that.
can't put that on him. That's America. If you live in, especially if you live in conservative country, like, white country in the middle of nowhere where ain't nobody talking about you, you need to check your water.
You sure do.
Because if you don't live in a major metropolitan area, there hasn't been the money to go in and change your pipes.
Yeah, because infrastructure is supposed to fix that.
Right. So if you come from a community where your tax base isn't even enough to pay for your school, you're getting money from the federal government to help with your school and your firehouse and your police departments and all, because y'all ain't got no money. You really think that pipes, because lead was the thing in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. That was the thing. You still got them. So yeah, that's why. Oh, that wasn't nice. Don't say what I'm about to say. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. Yeah, wait, whatever it is. I'm still glad that
but I am glad personally, they did that.
I'm glad they voted against it because see, I don't want to go. I don't want to go there.
But I would have been fine if both of them died. If both.
I would have been happy.
I'm past it.
I'm still tripping on Joe Biden's comment. Well, you don't get everything you want, which that statement is both true and false. Because I think we as voters have to understand when most lying crooked politicians who take corporate money decide to run, they're not going to do anything that they promise. Let's just audience make that real simple. So you already, I guess I figured when he ran, I'm like, oh, he's not going to do anything is running off of.
Talk about Biden?
Yes. But the fact that the people in Georgia especially worked so hard to get him elected, I'm like, man, if I lived in the state of Georgia, I'd be calling the White House every day like, hey, where's my $2,000 check? Where's my $2,000 check?
I keep hearing that one come up. You already know how I feel about that one. But I look at it and say like this here. You can't stand at the end of a broken machine and wonder why the product that comes out of it is broken.
That's true.
So what was it that Biden was actually elected to do?
Not be
because
Trump.
He wasn't any of our choices.
It was like Trump. It was right. He wasn't Trump.
That was his job.
Most people were like, I don't care. Like one of my friends said, he said if it was a potato versus Trump, he'd have voted for the potato.
And the fact behind that is when you look at the Republicans gained power or held steady everywhere else. The only part of the ticket that fell was the president. So that was Republicans voting against him or abstaining from voting for him and then voting down ticket for the rest of it. So it's still the same game. Biden was only elected to not be Trump, to stop embarrassing the country on the world stage, to stop letting rampant corruption just run free in the streets. That's why he was elected. He wasn't elected to do anything. But him being elected, and I'm going to go here because I don't like the guy, but still, him being elected did get a stimulus check out that McConnell was not going to let happen.
No, he wasn't. Okay? He didn't even want the 600.
People want to cry about, well, you told us 2,000 and we got 1,400. Okay, cool. But you wouldn't even have got that 1,400 if he wasn't elected because McConnell would still be in charge. Trump would still be in charge and you wouldn't have got that either. Okay. And COVID was running like stupid crazy. It's still a mess, but that's because people are stupid. But Biden did get it under control.
And I said, this is going to be the last subject. I got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I got to.
Yeah, I don't know much about him except that, he didn't surprise me.
When I'm so tired of arguing I have gotten literally out of Facebook groups because people are just not the brightest light bulbs that they could be. Well, it's his body, his choice.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't. So when you drive in a car, you just drive with no seatbelt and that stop sign, you just run right through it, and you eat your food as fast as you can, and every other law you just disregard because, hey, that's my right. That's my right.
They're making the choice to follow those rules that they agree with, and they're making the choice not to follow the rules they don't agree with. It's very
yeah,
situational, and yeah,
it's illogical
yeah.
because he was saying, oh, well, it's linked to. He said he couldn't take the Johnson and Johnson one because he's allergic to it. Okay, well, there's still two other vaccines. There's Pfizer and there's Moderna. Okay, you don't take Johnson and Johnson. Fine. But oh, it's linked to infertility. No, it's not.
Nope.
Um,
But that's us fighting about the facts around the facts.
I just
Fact is, this was the rule. You intentionally deceived because of your privileged position.
Exactly.
They didn't inspect it, and that's how you got past it. And now people are upset that he used the privilege that he had to get what he wanted.
Well,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
What
I
you
don't
should
understand
be
outrage.
okay. The outrage I guess I'm getting is if you have that COVID, obviously he's around other people. Now let's just say some of those people are not vaccinated. Let's just assume maybe one or two are. Then that person could be getting COVID. You're carrying around something. You're carrying around a virus that could get 10 times the people sick. That it can affect 10 times the number. And you're just carrying it around like, oh, because it's my choice, and it may lead up to infertility. I just want to tell these people who are against these vaccines, you take the flu vaccine, which I finally did take. You take rubella, you take tetanus. You even take the one that, polio.
Yep.
Where was you at when these vaccines were at? You were in line, rolling up your arm, and getting that vaccine.
Well, their counter to that is that wasn't their choice. That was their parents' choice because they were children at the time. That's the counter right there. Boom. But the other thing, though, is like with the reason why the arguments never stick with people like Aaron Rodgers and the people who are like caping for him is because, like we led off with, facts and figures don't matter. See, everything that you just said about like the risk that he posed to other people, they all have to be predicated with if. So if he has COVID, then he can get somebody else sick. If he gets somebody else sick, they can have whatever consequence. They're all predicated on ifs. And at the end of the day, even though I'm pro-vaccine, at the end of the day, we can't prove anyone that he has gotten sick or killed. So you're still using if arguments against someone who flouted whatever social norms are. And so you're mad at me because I didn't do what you said, but I didn't hurt anybody by not doing what you said.
Okay.
So why are you mad at me? Where I'm mad at him for lying.
Yeah, because that's NFL protocol. The NFL says either get vaccinated or you're gonna get sat down and you're gonna get tested. That's the rule that they've established.
But that's the full stop, though. That should be the full stop. Where people get so messed up in these, and it just raises our blood pressure, right? Because it doesn't change much. Is we go past that. There is a rule.
And he
is a member of an organization. He intentionally withheld information and intentionally deceived those that he was supposed to give information to. That right there. That's where he's wrong, and that's where he should be punished on that alone.
Yeah, because he's already
the COVID
lost
part. We got to leave it alone.
See, I'm gonna say no because I'm pro vaccine. I think it should be mandatory. I'm like, nope. I think everybody who should get it. I'm tired of wearing them. I'm so tired of wearing a mask to the grocery store.
I get it, but check this out. So we'll have a little exercise because we're actually, me and you agree. But if I get vaccinated, can I still get COVID?
You can get COVID. Absolutely.
If I get COVID, can I still spread COVID?
You probably could. Yeah.
Yeah. If I get that vaccine, is it even guaranteed it's going to work in my body?
It's not 100%, but it's
Right.
darn close.
So when you sum it all up, everyone getting vaccinated is because you have concern for others beyond yourself, and
Exactly.
you're trying to minimize the potential of causing more harm, or minimize the ability for the virus to mutate. That's the only reason we get vaccinated, because it doesn't stop anything, right? So when we try to go against anti-vaxxers and we just go with, you know, well, you can get somebody else sick, you can get this and get that, they are ignoring us because they know exactly what I just said. They know that it doesn't stop the virus. It doesn't stop them from getting sick. Only thing that it can do is maybe if I do get sick, it won't kill me, right? But I've just lost one associate who is fully vaccinated. He just died from COVID. I have another family member who just died, was not vaccinated. End of the day, 2 people I care about are gone. This is just in the last 2 weeks. So the argument has shifted, I think, and we have to change what we're saying. Personally, here's my take. Real quick, this is my solution. If you have not been vaccinated and you're over age 12, you can no longer receive free vaccinations from this point forward. If you wish to be vaccinated, you will have to go through your medical and pay what associated costs or fees that goes with it. If you do get COVID and you are unvaccinated and you're over the age of 12 and you go to the hospital, then there will be no relief on your bills. You'll have to file through your insurance company and see how that works out. See, right now, we're begging people to do something for free to help themselves.
Yep.
We're past that.
Yeah.
At this point, if somebody wants to get vaccinated, they would already got vaccinated.
Here's my solution.
Leave them alone.
Yeah, here's my solution to getting people vaccinated. I know nobody's going to like this, but this is what Tracy says do. Give the vaccines to other countries.
That too.
You know, let Mexico, look, we're going to send all, because y'all don't want them, so we're going to send all these vaccines and boosters. We send them to Mexico, Haiti, African countries. Watch conservatives come out. Oh, no, I'm not going to let them get it.
But the only way you really get the conservatives, in my opinion, is we do that. But how do we get the excess supply? Oh, I know, because I just told you can't have it anymore. See, they act like children. So if I tell you cannot have it, you'll be mad at me for not letting you have it.
Yep, and then you'll want it. I still say give it to every African country.
Both. Yeah, I say do both.
Give it to every country in Africa. Be like, okay, I didn't want it, so why are we keeping it?
Stop sitting on all this excess supply and start letting these other countries buy it or send it to them or whatever we need to do.
Give it to them. No, just straight give it to them.
I feel you, but I mean, like, there are countries, like there's a representative from Africa who was saying recently, he was saying, we're willing to buy it. You have blockades in all of the major nations that won't allow us to even buy it. We have to wait for you to give us a donation, and donations are cool, but we don't know when we're gonna get them. Let us buy it, right?
Yeah, so, I'm like, hey, y'all want to buy some vaccine? $1. Give us $1 and we give y'all all these vaccines.
Give you a whole boatload, right?
You get buy one, get one free. Don't start me. Don't start me. I will straight up be like, okay, y'all don't want them. Y'all want to act stupid and sit here talking about my body, my choice. Oh, except for if it's abortion.
But see, that's the thing.
I'm not even going to walk down that
As long as you're trying to nail Jell-O to the wall with a nail, this is the outcome. I'm saying change the whole game. I'm not telling you that as an American citizen you can't be vaccinated. I'm telling you they ain't going to be free no more. And I'm telling you, I'm not going to ask you to do it anymore. Because at this point, if you wanted it, you would have got it. And then I'm going to make sure that the gates are wide open for helping the rest of the world, because that's where the variations are going to be coming from. So let's help take care of all these people. And then at the same time, start giving incentives for the people who are vaccinated. See, we're doing things so backwards. America wants to punish people to make them comply, and that never works.
No, because we're gonna be like, oh well, but give it away. I'm guaranteed if you said, oh, we giving it to Haiti, Africa, and Mexico, oh, that's it.
Yeah. Instead of telling people, you know what, everybody who's not vaccinated is going to lose their job or they're going to be sent home unpaid. But no, stop doing that crap. Because at the end of the day, it's still a personal choice, right? See, the thing about the abortion argument, how they use it on both ends, is that they're wrong.
Yeah, they're totally wrong.
So if they're wrong, why would we also decide to be wrong to prove them wrong? That doesn't work. So their thing is, my body, my choice, which is why I won't get vaccinated, but your body, my choice, which is why you can't have an abortion. The hell? I'm sorry, Tracy. Whatever. But you flip that on its head and you say, you know what? We really need you to be vaccinated. Here are all the benefits for it. I know you guys have heard it. We're going to keep telling you about it. But we're not going to punish you if you don't get vaccinated. Not at this point. We're like 60% vaccinated. Punishment is not going to get us to 80. Not going to happen. So instead, everybody who is vaccinated, we sending y'all a bonus.
Yep, we're going to send y'all
$500. You get an extra $500 a month every month until we get this thing under control to say thank you for being vaccinated and doing your part to help the greater good. See what I'm saying?
You know that would never pass the Republican Congress.
It wouldn't, because they'll say something about budgets and a welfare state or whatever. But I'm still saying that's where the Democrats are intentionally bad at this game, because it's not about what you can or can't do. It's about what you message and you sell. Republicans aren't care. They don't have to deliver anything. They have excellent messaging that says what we will or won't do.
Yep, and Anna had to be the person that brings up this happening in Australia. Australian brothel workers are giving away free services to men who decide to get vaccinated.
I mean, hey, first of all, it shouldn't even be illegal, but that's a whole nother, because we get rid of the taboo mess on sex work, and maybe we could stop having our children in the foster care system and our children who slip through the cracks, stop having them being victimized, right? But America ain't ready for that conversation.
No, I still like your idea, though. A tax credit for getting vaccinated, all you got to do is show your card. Oh, wait a minute. You have to have a legitimate doctor statement. Not these people getting these little fake vaccine cards to go to the airport.
If your doctor or the health department gave you that vaccine, it's already recorded. That card is a formality.
Yeah.
So if they really wanted to move the needle, I think the way you do it, because we're dealing with children, America is a bunch of angry toddlers with guns.
Yep, little 2-year-olds.
So what do kids love? They love candy. Give them something sweet to eat, and they'll do whatever you want. So, okay, give them money. First of all, I think everybody should get money anyway. I think there should be a minimum income benefit for everybody. Because here's my thing. We get lost in this whole means testing thing, where they'll be like, well, we'll give $1,000 a month unless you make X amount of dollars, and then we'll give you $500 a month, and unless you make X amount of dollars, and then we'll give you $0 a month. Man, whatever. That takes too much time. Everybody get $1,000.
Yep, and if you make too much on taxes, they'll come and get you.
Everybody. If you are 18 or over, I don't care if you make $30 billion a year, here's your $1,000. Because here's the thing about $1,000 to a rich person. They don't know about it no way. So
yeah, they really don't. They like, well, what?
Give them the money, man.
It's not like you taxing them anyway. So
give them the money.
Yeah, I like the combination of two ideas. I still say, just give it away. Give it to specifically 3: Africa, the whole continent, Haiti, and Mexico. Oh no. Oh no, that couldn't happen.
Man, America owes,
We owe
specifically America owes Central and South America
billions of
so
dollars.
much.
We owe them trillions. We should just be like, here, y'all take it. We
America,
sorry.
America should get with all the other colonizers and be like, look, the only reason we're called first world is because we stole from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, look what's happening in Africa, which I'm going to talk about in a couple weeks on this show. I'm like, that is literally breaking my heart.
third world is basically any country that the Europeans destroyed.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
third world. So, hey, but that's a human approach to things.
Yeah, and I wonder whether
that's not
with
cool.
insurance companies moving away from reimbursing people who don't get vaccinated, like if they go to the hospital. That's a high bill to pay. Because you go to the hospital in this here country, bankruptcy probably gonna be in your future.
Yeah, absolutely. But see, that is the thing. See, you should have your choices. Like I'm all for my body, my choice. That's what I'm 100% with that. That's your temple. I wish people would make better decisions with it, but it's your temple. And unfortunately, decisions you make may have consequences on me. I get that as well. But at the end of the day, your body, your choice, whatever it is, drugs, abortion, piercings, sex work, COVID, whatever you want to do. Hey, you, man. Okay. But you're not free of consequences.
Nope, you sure aren't.
So we cashed on this, I think, on Marlon's show once, where you said that you didn't want the federal government telling you what to do. So so Biden deferred to the states, and then you didn't want the states to tell you what to do. Hence, you got your whole DeSantis and all them people. So then it defers to your business, like where you work. Now the businesses are telling you what to do, and you don't want to do that either. So really, what it is you don't want to be told what to do. Okay, you do what you want to do, and the rest of the world will have to respond to you. You don't want to get the shot. That is your right. I actually will fight for you to have that right. I'm okay with that. Rather you got the shot, but if you don't, I understand. Because it's a slippery slope. Because I don't trust the government. But because you decide not to get the shot, you're not safe to be around other people. So you're going to get tested constantly. You got to still wear a mask. You can't go to certain places. You can't do certain things. That's the consequence of the choice you made. Right? So I just don't get it. I think we keep playing it the wrong way.
Yep, I definitely agree. Well, everyone, this show, of course, went longer than I wanted, but
I guess it's my fault again.
No, we got to some good stuff that I had totally forgotten about, but I did want to, again, thank everyone for watching. And next week, I'll tell you all next week what I'm going to be talking about. First part of my show, I'll be by myself because I'm specifically talking about some good news that happened in Indianapolis. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is actually good. This could actually work. So I'm really excited about that. I didn't do it on this show, but I'm going to do it on the next show. I'll still have like this, and hopefully Marlon will come on, but it'll be after my 10 minutes of telling you all what's happening. So remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and support us on the Patreon. All the links are in the comments. Theus, thank you for being here again.
Thank you.
And that was a great idea you had. Thank you, Anna, First Love, and my sister. Thank you all. All Patreons, by the way. I want to thank them for that. And have a great evening, everyone.